Hello dear students, this is Prince, your physics teacher. So previously we have done up to the topic speed and average speed. So just recapitulating the same topic, as we know, speed is equal to distance over time. It means how much distance an object covers in a particular time, that is called speed. Suppose we are going from Ludhiana to Chandigarh, then how much distance is covered in a particular time, and that is the speed with which we will reach from one point to another point, from city A to B. So now in case of speed, we can say that it depends on the total distance. Now if we talk about the average speed, in case of average speed, we can say that total distance over total time. Now suppose we are going from point A to B, the distance is 10 meter. Now time taken from A to B is 10 seconds. Again, a person moving from B to A, the distance is same, 10 meter. Now he will take 20 seconds. Now if we have to find the average speed, we can say that the average speed is equal to total distance divided by total time. Now what is the total distance? It is 10 plus 10, it means 20 meter. Now what will be the time? It is 10 seconds and 20 seconds, it means it is 30 seconds. So the equation is 2 by 3. It means we can calculate the average speed by finding total distance and total time. Now our next topic is velocity. Now what do you mean by velocity? It is the rate of change of displacement. As it is clearly mentioned that in case of velocity we have a displacement, but we know that in case of speed, that is the rate of change of distance. It means just replacing one thing, that is distance is replaced by displacement. Now it becomes velocity. The another name we can say that it is speed with direction, because displacement is a vector quantity, so velocity is also a vector quantity. So we can say that speed with direction. Okay, now in this case we can say that we have, again, suppose a body A is moving from point A to B. Now this is the actual path, but we have to find velocity. Then we can say that from A to B it is a straight line. This straight line is a displacement. We know that we have to travel this distance. Now we will now we can say that if we have to travel this distance, then it will take much time as compared to from A to B. So by using that time, we can say that displacement divided by time is equal to velocity. It means velocity depends on displacement. So as you all know that in case of displacement there is the particular direction. Now again in case of velocity, this direction is mentioned, so we can say that velocity is a vector quantity. It means velocity is also a vector quantity. Now let's take an example of a velocity. Suppose a person is at point A. Now he is moving from A to B. If it is 10 meter, again from B to C it is 10 meter, and from C to D it is 10 meter. Finally he reached the point D. Now we have to find speed and velocity. First let's calculate speed. Now what do you mean by speed? We know that speed is total distance divided by total time. Now what's the total distance? 10 10 10. It means it is 30 meter. Okay, we have to take time also. So it is 10 seconds, or we can say that it is 5 seconds, 5 seconds and 5 seconds. So total time is 15 seconds. It means its speed is 2 meter per second. Now what will be the velocity? Now in case of velocity, it is from point A to D. As we know that the actual distance from A to D that the person covered is 10 plus 10 plus 10. It means 30 meter. But if we have to find shortest distance, it is a displacement. Suppose it is 10 meter again. Okay, now if it is 10 meter, now we can say that velocity is equal to 10 meter is a displacement divided by, now how much time it takes? Total time, it is 15 seconds. So with this we can say that its velocity is 2 by 3 meter per second. It's small as compared to speed. With this we can conclude that speed and velocity, now which one is greater? 2. It means speed will be greater than velocity. Now in the second option, the same person from A to B, B to C and C to D, then again came back to A. 10 meter, 10 meter, 10 meter, and he takes time 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds and 5 seconds. So for this we have to find the speed. And what will be the speed? It means 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. It means it is 40 meter. Now what time it takes? 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. It means it is 20 seconds. So again speed is 2 meter per second. Again same. Now in this case, if we have to find velocity, then velocity is equal to displacement divided by time from initial and final. Both are same. It means displacement is equal to 0. If displacement is 0, then time is 20 seconds. Then 0 divided by anything is equal to 0. It means its velocity equal to 0. But speed is 2 meter per second. So we can say that velocity can be 0. Second important point. So thirdly we can say that again a person moving from point A to directly D, if we are ignoring this point directly, so we know that it is a 10 meter and time is 5 seconds. Then what will be the speed? It is equal to total distance traveled is from A to D is 10 meter, and what's the time? It is 5 seconds. It means it becomes 2 meter per second. Now we have to find the velocity. Again, in case of velocity, the distance is same and displacement is same. It is 10 meter and the time is same. It is 5 seconds, and it is equal to 2 meter per second. Now in third case we can say that velocity equal to speed. So we have find three conditions, that is speed is greater than velocity, speed is equal to velocity, or we can say that if there is a speed but velocity can be 0, okay, but speed cannot be 0. Now next topic, as we know that in case of displacement, firstly we have discussed about displacement and distance. Chapter is motion. Then from displacement we find another quantity, that is velocity. For distance it is speed. Now there are again we have find average speed. Now in this case velocity we have again it is average velocity. So let's talk about average velocity. Now in case of average velocity we can say that initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. We already know that to find average of any quantity we have to add all the quantities, then divide by that number, that how many quantities are there. So in this case if we have two velocities, that is initial velocity and final velocity, if we have to calculate average velocity, it means it is initial velocity. Now Vi means initial velocity and Vf is the final velocity. Now if we are adding these two velocities and divided by 2, it becomes average velocity. It's different from average speed. Now in case of average speed, it is velocity and speed. Now in case of average speed, this formula is different, that is total distance over total time. Please note down these two formulas. So let's do an example for average velocity. Suppose a person A is moving from point A to B with velocity 10 meter per second. Now again from B to C he is moving with 20 meter per second. Then if we have to find the average velocity, it means V average is equal to V initial plus V final divided by 2. Now this velocity is the initial velocity, this velocity is final velocity. Now to find the average velocity we can say that it is 10 plus 20 divided by 2. It means it is 30 by 2, means 15 meter per second. Now next topic is the rate of change of velocity. As we earlier know, in case of velocity it is displacement divided by time, but in case of rate of change of velocity the new term is acceleration. It means rate of change of velocity divided by time. One common thing between speed and velocity is both have units meter per second. Okay, now in case of acceleration we can say that it is velocity divided by time. So to calculate the acceleration, suppose a person A is sitting in a car moving constantly with the speed of 20 km per hour. Then he just accelerate his car. Then after few seconds its speed or velocity becomes 60 km per hour. Then how much time it takes to reach that speed? It means the change in velocity or change in speed with respect to time is called acceleration. Now in case of acceleration we can say that acceleration is equal to change in velocity over time. Suppose we have a u is the initial velocity and v is the final velocity. How much time it takes from initial to final? Then we have a time is t. Now here t is a time to raise the velocity from u to v. So in case of acceleration, as we know, it is change in velocity. Now to find the change in velocity, we have final velocity minus initial velocity. it means it becomes v minus u. Now it means a is equal to change in velocity, that is v minus u, divided by time t. Now the new formula is for acceleration. Now if we have to find the units of acceleration, it is, as we know, in case of velocity or in case of change in velocity, the units are meter per second. Meter per second divided by time, again it is second. Now units of acceleration is meter per second square. So with this we have completed our next topic, that is rate of change of velocity or acceleration. So in your NCERT textbook there are some short examples from 8.1 to 8.4. So please just go through these examples and try to solve yourself. In my next lecture I will come with the next topic, that is graphs, or we can solve some numericals firstly to explain that topic. So stay safe, take care. Thank you.